Caitlin Clark with Connor and Alan Zucker at Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, Alan Zucker, I believe that is the guy that we got to keep in mind. The one comment said, this college Caitlin. Now, Caitlin Clark did lose a lot of muscle, man. To me, Caitlin Clark had to go back to who she was pre-Indy. And I've been telling y'all, Caitlin Clark need to be the Caitlin Clark we all fell in love with at Iowa.
Caitlin Clark just got dragged into one of the wildest rumors of her career. People are saying she fired her own agent, Erin Kane, after catching her cheating. And the internet is treating it like a done deal. But here's the thing. Nobody can even agree on what cheating means in this story, or where the proof is. Yet somehow the rumor exploded overnight. So the real question isn't just, did she fire her agent? The real question is why this story feels believable to so many people. And what's actually happening behind the scenes with Caitlin's money, her brand, and her next move. This whole firestorm started the way modern sports drama always starts. One moment, one photo, one comment section that got way ahead of itself. Caitlin shows up somewhere, she's seen around powerful people, and suddenly fans are playing detective like it's a true crime series. A few creators went live, threw out the word cheating, and the clip machine did the rest. Because Caitlin switches agents for strategy sounds boring. But Caitlin fires her agent after betrayal sounds like a movie. And online, movie wins every time. But when you slow the story down for 2 seconds, you realize something important. Viral doesn't mean verified. Here's what's actually on the record. Caitlin Clark has been represented by Excel Sports Management since her college nil era, long before she ever stepped onto a WNBA court. Erin Kane has been publicly identified as her agent at Excel, including in recent interviews and coverage.
That's where she's her greatest. She's not her greatest being big, bulky, muscular, and, it throws off your shot. Hence why Steph Curry said something about it. I think Steph Curry should mentor Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody like him in her corner, he kind of had similar success. He changed the game of basketball as we know it. Their style of play is very similar in a sense, and I think she should definitely.
There hasn't been a credible report confirming Caitlin fired her. Nothing solid. No verified statement. No reliable outlet saying, yes, it happened. So right now, the she fired Erin Kane story lives in the same place most internet breakings live, between speculation, secondhand posts, and channels chasing a headline. And that doesn't mean Caitlin's camp is perfect. It just means the firing part isn't proven. So why are fans so ready to believe she would fire her agent? Simple, the Nike deal. Caitlin signed a massive Nike contract reported at 8 years and $28 million. On paper that sounds huge, because for most people it is. But in the world Caitlin lives in, paper isn't the whole story. Her impact has been unreal. She didn't just join the WNBA, she changed how people watch it. Attendance jumped, ratings spiked, jerseys flew off shelves. Games got moved to bigger arenas because demand was too crazy. And when fans look at that explosion and see a deal they feel doesn't match it, the internet does what the internet always does. It looks for a villain. And the easiest villain in a she's underpaid story is the agent. But the Nike deal wasn't a bad deal, the way people say it is. It was a starting point, a foundation. Nike didn't just hand her a check and walk away. They made her a signature athlete, with her own line set to drop in 2026. That's a whole different level. That's the moment where the real money starts stacking, because signature lines don't just pay you royalties. They turn you into a face of a category.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe reach out to him if she have not already. This comment stated, it looked like Caitlin Clark has a new agent. That's how I read this picture. Now, somebody else, then it goes on to say she lost a very lot of weight. So I believe this Alan Zucker guy, right? One of these guys, let me see here. So this right here, Goldman Sachs acquires majority stake in Excel Sports Management. Now, Goldman Sachs was already reaching out to Caitlin Clark and already doing business with her. I believe she had a sponsorship with them, if I'm not mistaken, her rookie year.
And once that line hits, the leverage for renegotiations, bonuses, and brand bidding wars goes through the roof. People are judging a long game after seeing the first move. Now let's talk about the guy who keeps showing up in these rumors, Alan Zucker. He's one of the most powerful partners at Excel, known for building legacy-level portfolios for massive clients. The Mannings, Trevor Lawrence, top NFL names, major entertainment figures. Zucker has lived in the world where athletes don't just take deals, they create markets. So when Caitlyn is seen anywhere near him, the internet reads it like a transfer announcement. Oh, she's with Zucker now. She switched agents. Erin Kane is out. But real agencies don't work like one-person kingdoms, especially not Excel. Big clients routinely get handled by teams, partners, and specialized divisions. Seeing Zucker around Caitlyn doesn't automatically mean a firing. It could mean the opposite, that her representation is expanding because her career is expanding. And that brings us to the real story hiding behind the rumor. Caitlyn Clark isn't just negotiating sneaker money anymore. She's negotiating system money. The WNBA's pay structure is still built for an older era, and Caitlyn is the first player whose gravity is so massive that it's exposing every crack in that system at once. Her rookie salary was basically pocket change compared to what she generated, and even now, the gap between her impact and her on-court paycheck is the kind of mismatch that forces a league into a reckoning. You can't agent your way out of a capped rookie scale. That's why conversations around Caitlyn keep drifting toward the CBA and revenue sharing. Her career isn't just a star's story. It's a proof of value story for the entire sport. That's also why the brand reset chatter has gotten so loud. People noticed changes in her body, her training style, her vibe, and started building conspiracy ladders out of it. She looks different. She's dropping muscle. She's going back to Iowa Caitlyn. But here's the truth. Whether she's bulked up or leaned out, the narrative is what matters. The public fell in love with the Caitlyn who bombed logo threes, talked SHD, and turned games into events. That identity is a brand asset. And any smart team around her is going to protect that core while she grows into a pro superstar. This isn't some secret signal of betrayal. It's a natural shift when a young athlete moves from college phenomenon to global product. So if the firing rumor isn't verified, why is this moment still huge? Because even fake rumors can accidentally point at real pressure. Caitlyn's value is already bigger than the system she's playing inside. She's the rare athlete whose cultural impact outpaces her pay structure. That creates friction. It creates headlines. It creates stories people want to be true because they feel like justice. And if Caitlyn ever did change her representation, it wouldn't need a cheating plot twist. It would be for leverage, timing, and future deals that make her earnings match her impact. Whether Erin Kane stays her agent or not.
In this states, after launching its sports franchise division in 2023, Goldman Sachs is acquiring a majority stake in Excel Sports Management, valuing agency to close to $1 billion. The New York-based talent company represents stars like Caitlyn Clark, Derek Jeter, Tiger Woods, and NBA's MVP Nikola Jokic, along with brands such as Goodyear and Under Armour. So Under Armour was represent. That's why Steph Curry was so mad. See, y'all, all of this is starting to make sense now. See, Under Armour was represented by Excel. So they had a direct line to get Caitlyn Clark. Under Armour did.
Caitlyn's camp is clearly moving into the next tier of business strategy. Even Caitlyn's own agent has publicly said what a lot of fans already feel, but can't quite explain. The league's current system can't realistically pay Caitlyn at her true market value. That wasn't a confession. It was a pressure signal. It was basically saying, look at what this athlete generates. Now look at what you're paying her. This system can't last. That's not the posture of someone who's been fired. That's the posture of someone who's still in the room, fighting on her client's behalf while the sports economy is being renegotiated. And here's something else the rumor crowd ignores. Alan Zucker wasn't some random new face entering her orbit in late 2024. From the start of Caitlyn's nil era, her representation at Excel has been a team effort involving top-level partners. Fans saw a photo and turned it into a plot twist because they didn't know who these people were until the internet needed a villain and a replacement. In reality, big clients at elite agencies are handled like startups, multiple specialists, multiple lanes, one coordinated plan. Caitlyn isn't a normal athlete deal anymore. She's a cultural contract. You can see how massive that contract is by looking at the simplest contrast in sports. Her off-court money versus her on-court salary. She's already pulling superstar-level earnings outside the league, while her WNBA paycheck still sits in a system designed for a much smaller market. When the public sees that canyon, their brains go searching for a culprit.
Oh, yeah, he definitely got Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark got a new agent. If this site right here is legit, what is this right here, y'all? Look, investigated clients, Alan Zucker, Trevor Lawrence, football, Clayton Crenshaw, baseball, Caitlin Clark, basketball. Whoa. Whoa. Hold up. This probably is for real.
But the culprit isn't a person. It's the timeline mismatch between Caitlin's rise and the league's economic structure. Caitlin accelerated the marketplace faster than the league could rewrite its rules. And that mismatch is exactly why rival leagues are circling. A new global women's league has already started offering huge guaranteed salaries and equity structures to WNBA stars, basically saying, "We'll pay you what your audience is worth right now." Whether those leagues succeed or not, their existence creates leverage. Options create leverage. Caitlin doesn't even need to join. Just being someone they want changes the entire bargaining environment. When a league knows its brightest star has real alternatives, negotiations shift. The system has to explain itself. So if Caitlin is underpaid by WNBA standards, the missing sentence is, she's already been fully validated by the marketplace outside the WNBA. The market has decided she's priceless. The league is the one catching up. That's why her Nike deal isn't the end of the story. It's the runway. Signature lines are where the real money lives. The endorsement number is the floor. The shoe is the ceiling. If her first signature drop hits the way people expect, the value of everything around her rises. Her renegotiation windows, her performance incentives, her other brand bids, her media doors, even her leverage inside the next CBA fight. That's a domino layout.
This probably is for real, y'all. Let me fact check this for our yay or nay. That's him on the far left. But this site right here is saying that she signed with him. She's with him now. Wow. Oh yeah. She definitely Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Arch Manning, Trevor Lawrence, just Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, she has a new agent. It is official. Wow. She definitely have a new agent. This did not even, God, this is probably the first time y'all heard about this.
The check you see today isn't the biggest check she's going to get. It's the ticket that lets her walk into the bigger room later. And listen closely, because this is where the story turns from rumor into chess. Caitlin isn't just a person brands borrow to sell a product. She's a magnet that creates traffic. She's essentially a media channel living inside a jersey. When she shows up, it's not just about the Fever scoreboard. It's cameras, highlight cycles, debate culture, merch spikes, ticket demand, and mainstream attention that follows her everywhere. That's not fame. That's infrastructure. Brands don't just want a billboard on that highway. They want a toll booth, which means the next big move around Caitlin won't look like a normal endorsement. It will look like ownership, equity partnerships, long-term royalties, co-created women's lines, deals where she isn't renting out her name. She's stitched into the profits. That's the difference between a superstar and an institution. And Caitlin is entering the institution phase early because she forced it early. This is also why people keep misreading her career. Caitlin has never moved like someone who panics. When the spotlight got bright in college, she didn't flinch, she got sharper. When the pressure hit, she leaned into it. That tells you everything about how she handles business too. She isn't impulsive. She doesn't make emotional revenge decisions in public. If there's ever a representation shift, it will happen quietly, strategically, and for reasons that make sense on a balance sheet.
Gentlemen, she fired Erin Kane because Erin Kane fucked up the Nike deal. She completely slaughtered her Nike deal, bro. Wow. For the longest time, I thought that Caitlin Clark was her uncle. Nope, her agent. He's her agent. She fired Erin Kane.
Not because of a dramatic betrayal plot. So the safest way to read this whole situation is this. Even if the firing story is fake, the feeling behind it isn't. People feel Caitlin leveling up. They feel her team shifting into a bigger gear. They feel the next contracts are going to make the old ones look small. And when people feel a shift but don't understand the mechanics, they turn it into scandal. because scandal is easier to digest than strategy. But strategy is what's actually happening. Her team is expanding, not replacing. The machinery around her is multiplying because her career is multiplying. She's not living a normal athlete story anymore. She's living a cultural one. Cultural careers get managed like Hollywood, like tech, like global icons. Different rules, different stakes, longer timelines, more people in the room because every decision ripples beyond the court. And this is where the entire ecosystem starts reacting to her success in predictable ways. The wave riders show up, brands that suddenly discovered women's basketball the moment Caitlin arrived. The controllers show up, people who want the ratings Caitlin gives without rewriting the rules that keep salaries small. The history writers show up, pretending this boom was inevitable. And the quiet slowdown crew shows up too, the old mindset that still sees the sport through scarcity. Caitlin's existence crushes that scarcity mindset. Demand doesn't ask permission. It just shows up, and business has to adapt or lose. Demand is why her games got moved to bigger arenas. Demand is why her jersey sales exploded. Demand is why networks treat her matchups like must-see TV. Demand is why sponsors lined up before her pro career even fully started. That demand is what's bending the rules, not a cheating scandal. And here's what makes this era even more dangerous for everyone trying to keep the old rules alive. Caitlin hasn't even reached her most powerful phase yet. Her most powerful phase isn't when she's young and exploding. It's when she's young, exploding, and fully understands the business game herself. Eventually, every athlete hits a moment where they don't just agree with strategy. They think strategy. They start moving like their reps move. They choose the long game automatically. When Caitlin hits that phase, you'll see decisions that don't even look like athlete stuff. Meetings for future seats at the table. Partnerships built around ownership. Media moves that control narrative. Investments that look random now but obvious later. That's what real empires look like while they're forming. Every modern sports empire has three pillars: a signature product, narrative control, and ownership. Caitlin's signature product is coming with Nike. Narrative control is already shaping in the background as her story becomes bigger than normal coverage. Ownership is the big question mark that people will pretend not to see until it's announced. And once a player becomes an owner of anything in the women's sports ecosystem, the conversation changes forever. She stops being someone the league pays. She becomes someone the league negotiates with. That's where this is headed. Not because Caitlin is chasing controversy, but because her value forces an evolution. And that's why this story is bigger than any photo, bigger than any rumor, and bigger than any one season. We're watching a sport level up in real time, and Caitlin Clark is the pressure point making it happen. The next year is a countdown to two explosive moments: the signature era landing in 2026, and the league's economic future being negotiated under the weight of her impact. Those two moments will decide whether the WNBA locks into a new tier permanently, or struggles to hold the boom it just entered. Caitlin is positioned to win either way. If the league evolves, she becomes the face of a golden age. If it doesn't, her platform is already strong enough to thrive outside the old structure. If rival leagues rise, she holds leverage. If they fall, she still holds leverage. If Nike ramps her line into dominance, that's a lifetime engine. If Nike underestimates her, that creates future war. Either path points to one reality: Caitlin holds more control than any women's basketball star has held this early in a career. So the rumor about firing an agent after cheating? It's noise. There is no solid proof that Caitlin fired Erin Kane. There is no solid proof of a cheating scandal driving any business decision. Those claims are viral fuel, not verified reality. But they exploded because they orbit something very real. Caitlin's market value has outgrown the old script. She isn't living a normal athlete story. She's living a first-of-her-kind story. And stories like that always create chaos around them, because people try to squeeze a new template into old narratives. The real drama isn't personal. It's structural. It's the league racing to keep up with the athlete who pulled it into the mainstream. It's rival leagues circling because they smell opportunity and leverage. It's brands lining up because the signature era is about to hit. It's a new economic reality being negotiated in real time. That's the story, not the rumor. So here's the final question to leave you with, because the answer to this defines the next decade of women's basketball. Did Caitlin Clark just change the WNBA? Or did Caitlin Clark expose that the WNBA has to change itself to survive the world she created? Because one way or another, that change is coming. And when it hits, we won't be talking about who she fired. We'll be talking about what she built.